Hey, I'm your host, Lindsay Lyman. I've spent the past 11 years at one of the largest tech companies in the world. My goal is to be the EQ leader for those working in high IQ tech settings. Because without solutions to deal with the constant reorgs, bad managers, and that hum of anxiety, you're one escalation away from losing it. But there's an easier way, and I can show you how. Let's go!
Hey friends, how's it going? There are some really exciting things happening in my life. I'm not at a point where I can share them with you yet. And I know that's so junior high drama of like, oh, I have something to say. But I'm just so excited. I can't keep it in. But I promise I will share all of the nitty gritty details at the new year. There's some really amazing, exciting things coming. So I know things are crazy. The holidays are a mixed bag. There's some greatness to it and some really hard, sad loneliness to it. Work is a crazy place these days. So I just hope you're finding some goodness in the things going on around you. Today, I want to talk about what happens when you are a dotted line manager to someone. What I mean by that, if you're not familiar, is sometimes we are technically the manager of people at work. Other times, we are not the technical manager of someone, but we are an acting manager, whether that's because a project we're working on has some work where that person is going to report up to you, or there's a lot of different reasons this happens. But essentially, what I mean by dotted line manager is you're responsible for essentially managing and helping this employee, yet you don't technically manage them from a HR standpoint, or at the end of the day, you are not necessarily responsible for their career growth and succession. So that's what I mean by dotted line manager. Now, I've noticed this with a handful of people I work with and some of my clients. There's this problem I see out there of essentially, when this is the case, most of these dotted line managers are telling yourself your success depends on this other person's success. But at the same time, you also believe you kind of are at a disadvantage because you don't really want to tell them what to do because you're not actually their manager. And this can also become a little bit of a tricky space when you're the person that has in the system manager and a dotted line manager, sometimes multiple dotted line managers. It can become really challenging as the employee to know which leader do you ultimately align to, because there will be situations where you will get conflicting feedback and suggestions. So there are times when this situation happens and it can work out, but what I want to talk about today are kind of the problems I see the managers taking. So I know there's a few of my clients who are going to be like, Lindsay, are you talking about me? And yes and no. We all struggle with this in different areas. What happens when you kind of see yourself at a disadvantage as a dotted line manager because you keep telling yourself, this person has to be successful, yet I don't have all the tools and abilities to manage them? You end up micromanaging them and trying to control them, and it never ends well for them or for you. Okay, but let me give you kind of a real life example of what this might sound like. Let's say, for example, you're a principal software development engineer, or SDE, kind of leading and owning the launch of a new product. And you've got to launch it before your busy peak holiday season. Most likely there's going to be multiple work streams that have to launch in order for you to kind of meet your code push dates. Most companies around kind of peak seasons, there's dates that are blocked off where you can't release code. So if you get off track far enough, it can really become a problem and put the whole product launch at risk. A lot of times in these scenarios, each of these different work stream owners has a manager, sometimes on a partner team or even on the same team, but are usually seen as dotted line reporting into you, the principal SDE, because you own it all up at the launch. This can be really exciting. It's a big task, it's a big scope, there's a lot of challenges, there's a lot of moving parts. This is a lot of what you are great at, but I've also seen you get stuck and move so much slower than you know you should be because you're trying to manage people when you're also telling yourself you don't technically manage them. Now, you don't want to be a jerk that just plows through at any expense because we've all worked with that person. Okay? I'm not saying go there, but there's a lot of space in between being a total jerk and just driving through the team at all costs and really going slow, trying to make sure this person feels good and is happy along the way. There's a lot in between there. Most likely, you're going to have your kickoff meetings, you're going to align on timelines and key deliverables, you're going to set up weekly check-ins or maybe daily stand-ups. You're going to do all the things, okay? This is great. You know all the things to do. When things don't go how you want or start to slip, when you're believing in your head, you have to manage this person, yet you're at a disadvantage because you don't actually manage them, what do? What happens? How does it go? Most likely the first time or two, it's okay. You talk about it, you come up with a plan, you keep moving forward. But if this continues to happen again and again, or the person you can tell is not going to be able to deliver, what happens when you're feeling stuck and powerless and like you have no other option? You're going to jump in and take over. You're going to get it done at all costs. Again, you're the principal SDE. At the end of the day, if it fails, it falls with you. And you know that. But you feel that you're at a disadvantage and can't control this person. We try micromanaging. And when that doesn't work, we just say, all right, I'm going to jump in and help and save the day. I've heard so many people in this scenario talk about like, but I'm not their manager, so I can't really tell them what to do. Or it's things like, I don't want to escalate to their actual manager because I don't want to get them in trouble. I don't want them to think I can't handle this. And you just feel stuck. So of course you're going to jump in and do the work. You're going to jump in and save things. And you're going to burn yourself out most likely because you have a big job to do. You can't do this other person's job as well. But when you keep thinking your success depends on their success, you will keep jumping in to save the day. And when that's what you're doing, you're not actually helping them grow. You're not setting them or yourself up for long-term success. Because if you just keep jumping in and saving them and fixing the problem and not getting to the root cause of the issue, you will burn yourself out. You will spend more time trying to tiptoe around them and around the issue and spend emotional time and energy trying to make sure they feel okay. And you're not helping them grow and develop and teaching them how to deliver. Telling yourself like, oh, but I'm just the dotted line manager feels like you can poke around, but you can't really push back. This leaves you going slow and creating so much drama. Now, instead of optimizing to driving the project forward and making sure you're optimizing to the customer experience, you're worried about keeping this other person happy and not having it go bad. Spoiler alert, nobody wants to be managed. No one goes to college and is like, I'm going to be a manager when I grow up. It doesn't matter if you're the dotted line manager or the technical manager. Quit managing people. Manage yourself. Manage your brain. Manage your own thoughts. Manage how you're feeling and what you are and aren't doing. People don't want to be managed. They want to be led. What kind of leader do you want to be in this scenario? What I would offer to you is to be a kind leader. And what I believe is kind is always 100% of the time the truth. But keep in mind, it's the whole truth. The whole truth is, hey, I'm a little worried we're going to fall behind and we're not going to be able to deliver, and this is going to go bad. And I can't jump in and help and save this. I could, but that's not going to get us there long term. Tell me, what do you need? How are you feeling about it? Right? Tell the whole truth to this person. That is the most kind way you can lead them. Get curious. Like genuinely assume they're doing their best. Let's be really curious as to where we're falling short, where we're not clearly aligned or communicating, or why dates or deliverables are slipping. Let's get really curious and go and solve those problems. Push them to deliver. As the principal SDE, that is your job, right? So as we're trying to be honest and tell the whole truth, we're going to go to them and say, look, I'm going to have to push and we're going to have to do things until we deliver. But it doesn't need to be dramatic. We don't need to hate each other. We don't need to create all this drama. Let's be good humans while we do it. Tell me, what would be the most helpful thing for you? Where are you stuck? Who can I help bring in to unblock us? Stop managing them. Stop trying to get them to do it the way you think they should do it, and lead them with honest kindness, with whole truth and curiosity. My plea with you is don't be a dotted line manager. Be a whole, solid leader. Lines are not required to lead. You do not have to have systems technically saying you are the leader. We as humans are starving and always looking for leadership. Go and be the youest you can be, and lead them with kindness, telling the whole truth, and genuine curiosity. This is not only going to help you get a better outcome, but it's also going to help that person not feel like you're a manager they need to optimize to. When they know you're there to lead, to have their back, you're creating a safe place for them to fail and make mistakes, and that you are going to help them through, they are going to feel more comfortable and more at peace and more willing to come to you when they're struggling. And they're going to come to you earlier on, not in the last minute. It's going to set everybody up for success. Okay? Stop managing and go lead for the love. We need you. All right. To all my SDE friends out there, I see you. I love you. Keep being my favorite nerds. I hope you're going to do something fun for yourself this holiday season. You're amazing. You got this. We'll talk soon.
If you listen to this podcast and feel heard and seen for the first time in a while, this is just the beginning. I offer a limited number of free coaching calls. On this call, we'll talk about what's going on, and you'll leave with specific ways to start feeling better today. So listen to that inner pull and let's chat. Grab some time on my calendar before I'm booked up. To schedule a call, click the link in the show notes or go to lindsaylymancoaching.com/chat and sign up. You got this.